You should hear me hitting those low notes. I sing right along with it, and I can get that. On most days, I can dig that bass out. Good to be with you today. Pastor Mike and I'm online, and I'm live coming to you from our top secret broadcasting bunker here at 1233 American Legion Drive, Festus, Missouri, deep in the heart of the Ozark foothills. Good to be with you today, and glad to have Nortja back from surgery. I'm assuming she is home and recouping, and her poor mother, Ricky, is running around like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to cook and clean and do all that stuff, because when you have surgery like that, you just don't feel it. My wife had that, and you just don't feel like doing nothing for a long time. And I remember being a helpmeet for my wife during that time. That's an interesting thing. I got a couple things I want to talk about today. Joanne, one of our faithful followers, and she's actually, you know, I haven't announced this in a while. We actually have a bulletin board in our church with pictures on it that people have sent that follow our ministry, watch our church service, and so on. And I've got Ricky's picture up there. I got Nora's picture up there. I've got Ariel up there. I don't know who all else. Jill, I don't know if I have you up there or not, but we've got a bunch of people up there. And if you would like to send us a picture, you can email it to us, and we'll print it out. And now my daughter Alicia, she likes to take the pictures and draw like Hitler mustaches on them and stuff like. No, she doesn't do that really. But we put them up on our church bulletin board. And so if you would like to send us a picture of you, your family, or whatever, that our congregation likes to see that. They like to see the extended congregation that we have. And so if you'd like to send us a picture, we'd love to have that. But Joanne and her husband, Robert, we have their picture up on our bulletin board with a Hitler mustache. And no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, she has asked me a very, very good question. And I actually did something that I don't normally do, Joanne, for you, is that I have printed documentation. I actually did a little research before the program today, which I don't normally do that before this. I like to just come in here and go, well, you know, whatever. But I wanted to deal with this intelligently, and she has pushed me to do it. And it's a good subject. So I'm going to set these notes right over here. We're going to remember that here in a little bit. All I've done today is come into the office, answer emails, start writing the script for the next Watchman broadcast, believe it or not. I mean the next one, not the one. I recorded the new one yesterday. It's being edited today. I might cover it a little bit today. I did an hour and a half worth of radio interviews with Noah Hutchings, Southwest Radio. Entertained some visitors that came by a while ago and came up here and made notes. That's all I've done today. That's all I've done. And I like being this busy. I really do. It's a blessing for me. I hope it turns out to be a blessing for you. The Watchman broadcast that I recorded yesterday, I asked you to help me pray about it. I believe that you did. And God helped me yesterday, just kind of put some neat things together. But, you know, it involves this right here. This is a copy of the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, those of you in Great Britain and Nederland and in other places, Canada maybe, this is what it looks like. Our document starts out with "We the people." It's us. It's the citizens that make the government. That's how it was started. And I use this idea that God, and I taught this before in the invasion series, in teaching on the principles of government. You know, the devil wants to tear down all the old institutions and build up a new one. And he has a group of devils that works with him on that. They're called principalities. Principalities are always in charge about changing the government, changing who's in charge. Now, let me kind of briefly explain what this is all about. And this is actually going to go into the question that Joanne asked. You know what? I want to make it. I'm going to change here for a second. I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to show you this just to get it out of the way, because it's been sitting here forever and it's been bugging me, and I want to deal with this and just kind of show you what's going on in the world that we live in today. This is a new book that's coming out. It's called Sages of Darkness. Darkness, 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 darkness. See the evil eyes there. And the book is called, let me see if I can get it, How Sage by Brock Edstman. Okay? Brand new book coming out. Evil looking book. Let me read to you the promo literature for this thing. How Sage is the first of a series of fast-paced, exciting, and suspenseful action story about Tyler, a 14-year-old. Now, who's the book written to? Okay? Less than 14-year-olds. 14-year-olds probably won't read this. Kids who want to be 14 will. 14-year-old who is part of, listen to this now. Tyler, a 14-year-old who is part of a secret society whose mission is to destroy the evil sages that walk the earth. I added that. That's actually not written here. As Tyler doggedly vows to solve the mystery of his missing father, does a pretty schoolmate's distraction cause dangerous consequences? A coffin discovered in Egypt, a jewel heist, and holes that swallow people into the darkness form the crux of the adventures that keep hearts pounding. Okay, now, the race, they race against the calendar and the wickedness that faces the world during the full moon on October 31st. Will the sage hunters defeat them in time? Now, that review of this book was written by Focus on the Family. And it's approved by Focus on the Family. Now, does anybody notice anything about the logo of Focus on the Family? Okay? And then I open it up like this. You didn't know I knew origami, did you? Okay? I can take a folded piece of paper and turn it into a straight piece of paper. Christian Book Distributors. That's where it comes from. Okay? This is as good as it gets in Christian literature, people. Somebody called me and they said, or they emailed me, Pastor Mike, can you recommend, I'm trying to homeschool my child, can you recommend someplace where I can get Christian books for my children to read instead of this garbage right here? And I said, I don't know, because for a long time, Christian Book Distributors, I liked them. They sent out these little catalogs, and they would have the old, I call them homeschool styled books. They were books that were out of print 100 years ago that people used in grammar schools and things like that. They were good stuff. They don't offer that stuff anymore. This is the kind of stuff that they're offering, and it's Focus on the Family reviewed and approved. And that's as good as it gets. Now, let's get to this right here. Okay? And let me bring in this right here. Okay? This and this go hand in hand, and I'll explain myself. If you're an American, you need to learn American history. If you're a Nederlander or a Briton, you need to learn American history. Because what God did here in this land was a remarkable thing. I'm not saying He hasn't done anything in any other country, but this is a unique situation here. Here we have a government that did not start by ordaining a king. Okay, it didn't start that way. We started a new government with a president, a Congress, and a Supreme Court, the three-tiered system of government. We call it the checks and balances and all of that stuff. But it basically has as its guiding source a piece of paper that starts out, "We the people." And I actually happen to have this memorized. It's called the preamble. We, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States. Now, let me tell you what this represents. God did a neat thing by inventing paper and ink. It's an absolutely marvelous thing when he invented paper and ink, and I'll tell you why. In the book of Deuteronomy, here's my can of King James right here. In the book of Deuteronomy, God told the Israelites, he said, here's what's going to happen. You're going to move into the land that I'm going to give you, and when you get there, I already know that you're going to want a king. I already know this, because God sees the future. And God said, when you get into the land, and you have a king over you, I'm going to set the guidelines for the king. Number one, he's to be one of you. He's got to be from the 12 tribes. Number two, and he gives all the qualifications for this king. But here is the most important thing that God told Israel that a king must have in order for him to reign. He said the king, when he sits on his throne, is to write him out a copy of this book, so that when he reigns over the people, he does so according not to his law, but to my law. My law's good. Don't trust his law. His law's bad. My law's good and will never fail. So that when he reigns, he will reign according to the law, and the law will be the final authority. And listen to this. Here's the part I like. So that his heart would not be lifted up over his brethren as king. In other words, God was saying he's going to write out a copy of a constitution called the Law of Moses. And the Law of Moses makes everybody the same. The Law of Moses does not say there's a certain law for kings and there's a certain law for common people. That doesn't exist in the Bible. There's one law for all of man, and this law makes all men equal. I love it, including those who are in charge. Do we not agree that the people who make the laws should also follow the laws? Doesn't that sound